In this video, we're going to look at importing animation from Mixamo and using it in Three.js. The process is not that straightforward, so I decided to make this video to show how I did it. In short, we're going to download an animation as an FBX file, then use Blender to convert it to BVH, then map it to our model, then choose the right settings to export to Three.js, and then finally load it in Three.js. But before that, let's look into why I'm not using the FBX model directly. We can go to Three.js, open the FBX loader example, download the script, add it to our project. This is just a simple project creating a scene and a render and loading a model. If we try to open the FBX that we got from Mixamo, we get an error. External library inflate.min.js required. Obtain it or import from it. Okay, so we go to this link and download inflate.min.js, add it to our project and try again. So this is better. We can see something, but it's not correct. Something is not right here, because if we go back to the example from Three.js, it was not importing inflate.min.js. So let's try to see what's the difference. If we have a look at the FBX file they're using, we'll see that it's an ASCII file, and the one from Mixamo is a binary file. We can use Blender to convert our file to ASCII and import it to our project and see what happens. Now there's a new error message. It says FBX version not supported, file version 6100. So if we check the example, it says version 7.3. We need another method to convert this FBX. I happen to have a trial version of Autodesk Motion Builder installed, so I'm going to use that to convert from binary to ASCII. This file is version 7.4, a lot closer to the version in the example. Let's try to load this one. And now there's a new error message. Cannot read property split of undefined. Okay, it's not working. The FBX loader is great, but it doesn't work for all FBX files. We need to try a different method. Let's go back to Blender. We import the FBX from Mixamo, select the skeleton, and go to Export, Motion Capture, BVH. Now we can start a new file and import that BVH file that we just created, and you can see the animation is there. Now we need to import our 3D model. I'm going to use this low poly Mayo from free3d.com. And then we try to match the mesh with the skeleton. So I'm going to go in orthographic view, see it from the top, press G and X to move it on the X axis, and then G and Y to move on the Y axis, then change to front view, and then G and Z to move on the Z axis. It's about right. It helps if the skeleton is in rest position, so let's do that. Let's adjust the position a bit. It doesn't need to be perfect, they just need to be roughly aligned. G and X again, it looks about right. Let's press Z to see the wireframe. The shoulders are more or less in place. It is important to reset the location and the position of the object. So we do Command A and then apply location, and then Command A and apply rotation and scale. Maybe we have to adjust the scale a bit, so I'm going to press S and scale it down a bit. The eyes are definitely off, but the shoulders seem to match. So I'm going to do Ctrl A and apply rotation and scale again. You can see here that location is at 0, rotation is at 0, and scale is at 1. This is important to export to Three.js. Now we need to change the rest position to match the position of our model. If you have a model that is already in T-pose, that's a lot easier, but in this case, we need to rotate the arms a bit and rotate the legs a bit. So let me open a new panel and go to dope sheet, and then just select some random frame, press B to select everything, press G and 1 to move all the frames to the right. Now the first frame is empty. Let me go back to pose position so we can see it. And I'm going to copy a frame, it doesn't matter which one, and paste it on the first frame. And now go to pose, press A to select all, and then clear transform all. So now I have the rest position in the first frame. Actually, I should have clicked this button before, so automatic keyframe insertion for object and bones. Let me see if it's too late, if it works. Yeah, it was too late, so we need to do that. Make sure you click this button to keep your transformation. So let's go to pose again, clear transform all, and now we have the rest pose on the first frame. Now we can close this panel, and we need to adjust the rotation of the arms and the legs. Okay, our bones are roughly in place. This is far from professional rigging. It's just a rough positioning, just to help us for the purpose of this video. We can go back to object mode, select our model, hit shift, select our skeleton, hit Command P and select with automatic weights. So now our model is following the skeleton, but you can see the arms are not mapped correctly. This is because we changed the rest position and the rest of the animation followed. There is a way to fix this using a script that I found on Blender Stack, and what it does, it bakes the first frame of the animation as the rest position and adjust all the other frames to match it. So let's undo that last change, open a new panel, go to text editor, hit new, paste the script, go to object mode and select our skeleton and run the script. We can close this panel now, and you can see that it created a copy of the skeleton. So now we have two. Let's make sure we keep the correct one. So let's go to rest position and hide one of the armatures, and it seems like this is the old one, so we can get rid of it, and the new armature has the rest position that matches our model. And the animation is still correct, as you can see. So now we can go to our first frame and select our model, shift select, let's go to object mode, shift select our skeleton, Ctrl P with automatic weights, and now the model is following the animation a bit better. It seems like the animation only uses 98 frames. We can use the dope sheet panel to get rid of the unused keyframes. You can see that first frame with the rest position is making the animation flicker, but it is necessary in order to export the animation correctly to Three.js. I'll show you what it looks like if we remove that first frame. I'm going to make a copy of this file, remove the first frame and export it to Three.js. So the skeleton looks okay, but the mesh looks really distorted. I'm not quite sure what is happening there. I checked the issues on the Three.js GitHub and I tried to understand, but it's quite complicated. What I do know is a way to fix it by using that first frame. Let's go back to our file that still had that rest position on the first frame. Here, select the object, go to export Three.js, and the settings that we're looking for are geometry, We don't need UVs. We don't need textures. We do need bones and skinning. We need skeleton animation pose. And we do need embed animation, and that's about it. Let's export it. Now if we load that in our project, you can see the mapping is a lot better, but of course there is that flickering first frame there, which shouldn't be there. And the only way I found to get rid of it was to edit the JSON file and delete all of the nodes that have time 0. Now if we reload our project, you can see that the animation is mapped correctly. So that's it. I hope it's helpful. It took me a while to figure out this process, so I hope this helps other people. I'm going to put the files and the links in the description below.